Hello, I'm Mike Hinderleiter, with President of Powerwash.com, here with Larry Hinckley, Senior Technical Advisor for Powerwash.com. And today we're going to talk to you about the RK-43C. This is one of our top-selling models and one of our most reliable and durable machines that we've had in the field for several years. Larry, tell me a little bit about the machine.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'd be more than happy to. It's powered by the 18 horsepower Briggs Vanguard engine. This engine gets its power to start from the Interstate 750 cranking amp battery, which is housed in this plastic container used for marine purposes. This engine turns a clutch-operated General TS2011 pump. By clutch operated, what I'm saying is when you squeeze your trigger and you achieve pressure, the clutch engages and turns the pump.
Okay, so it's got inside the pulley system here, it has a disengageable clutch.
Yes, sir.
That is hooked up to that pulley, so when you let off the trigger, that pulley stops spinning and the pump actually stops.
Exactly.
What benefit does that have on the pump?
The benefit in doing that is if you release your trigger and allow the pump to continue turning, heat builds up internally in the pump.
It's in a bypass mode.
It's in a bypass mode, and the heat generated by the gearbox of the pump normally is carried away as the water flows out.
Okay.
If you recirculate that water back in through the head of the pump, the heat never leaves the pump.
Right.
So you build up internal temperatures. Who knows how high it can go? I've seen it go high enough to melt the packing and the rubber and plastic parts in there be destroyed.
And in all my years of being a power washer, that's a common thing to happen, where someone lays down a trigger gun, they get kind of forgetful of what they're doing, or they don't pull that trigger again quick enough to cool down that head, so it ends up melting that packing or burning it up. So we have to go back and repack the pump. And then what's the other thing that can happen if it gets really hot in there?
Well,
and you pull the trigger.
What happens is the heat builds up in there. You have ceramic plungers, and ceramic is glass, basically. You heat ceramic and then cool it rapidly, you get thermal shock, which means they'll shatter. Your plungers will get hairline cracks or just totally shatter.
And if they shatter,
then
it's going to mess up all kinds of things in the head.
Then you're going to buy a new pump, because in all probability what's going to happen is you're going to break a rod and it's going to go through the pump casing.
Okay, all right. Well, to me, that seems like a very big benefit to have that clutch on there. And to have that clutch, when just say you let off the trigger, in a normal operation, if you don't have the clutch, you're going to be wearing on the valves, wearing on the packing, wearing on the ceramic. Any movable parts inside the head of that pump are going to continue to get wear on them without a clutch.
Exactly.
So it reduces maintenance and repairs all the way around.
Exactly.
Which is a big benefit when we're trying to make money with a power washer.
Absolutely, and it takes the load off of your engine too,
yeah, so
which actually increases your engine life.
Yep, very good, very good. All right, tell me a little more about it, Larry.
Okay, this machine also has twin 16-gallon fuel tanks, one for your diesel fuel and one for your gasoline.
And what kind of fuel types can we put in this machine?
For your burner fuel, we recommend number 2 diesel, which is what you find at the fuel pump at your local service station. Kerosene or home heating oil.
Okay, okay. Sometimes those fuels can have a little bit of nastiness to them, right?
Yeah, and we kind of try to cover that. We have a little thing here on the burner that's called a fuel water separator. This is a 10 micron screw-on filter, and it filters the particulate matter out. Any water that happens to be in the fuel settles out into this clear bowl here on the bottom, which makes it easy to spot. And with this petcock here, you can drain the water right on out of it. Easily slip like a coffee can or some sort of container under there to catch the fuel and drain it out.
And Larry, and that's a 12-volt burner assembly, correct?
Yes, this is a Beckett 12-volt assembly. It's one of the finest on the market.
Very good, very good.
To go on, as I told you, that's a 16-gallon fuel tank. This burner takes about 2.5 gallons of fuel an hour. So that means you're going to get 6 to 7 hours of burner run time. Again,
and that's straight run time, correct?
That's straight run
and normally,
time.
if a guy's out washing, if he's out on a job 8 hours, his machine, his run time on his burner is probably going to be about 4 hours because of letting off and pulling the trigger. That's what I've seen in my
First of all,
yeah.
As you well know, you wash with hot water, you rinse with cold water.
Yeah.
There's no advantage to rinsing with hot water.
Correct. Okay.
So your burner run time is going to be normally half of what your operational time is. Then on top of that, as you pointed out, each time you release the trigger, burner goes off, so you're not using fuel.
Great.
So, your gasoline tank, also 16 gallon, gives you 15 to 16 hours of run time on this engine, which uses approximately a gallon an hour.
Oh, very good, very good. I noticed that we got a lot of lights and switches up here. Tell me a little bit about what the benefits of that are.
This is your control panel, your burner control panel. First thing you're going to note is we've got a set of color-coded spray tips here. 0 being red, yellow 15 degree, green 25 degree, and white or 40 degrees, so you can quickly spot them.
That's nice. That's a nice benefit to have, is having those color-coded, because when you're out on a job site and you want to know real quick, you just grab that color and go.
Exactly.
Okay.
Also, we have a burner control switch, which has an internal light in it. So you turn it on, the light comes on. If for any reason you get a power failure to your burner, that light goes out. Okay. You can see that from 50 feet away. Okay, we have an hour meter to help you keep up with your maintenance, so you know when the last time you changed your oil was, or did whatever it was you did, changed a filter, or you can record that time on your hour meter and refer back to it at any future time you need to. These burner diagnostic lights are one thing I'm very proud of. They save you so much time in the field. The way they operate is when all things are operating on the machine as it should, when you've got the burner turned on, the trigger squeezed, and you're washing, you got 3 lights on. If for any reason, if you release the trigger, then your flow light's going to go out because you're shutting off your water flow and your water pressure. All right? Let's say you're running along and something goes haywire on the system. With your burner, you can come right here and you can look. With the trigger squeezed and the burner running, all 3 lights should be on. If the flow light is out, it tells you there's a problem with your pressure switch.
Okay.
If your temp light is out, it tells you you've either gotten too hot or for some reason your high limit switch has failed.
Okay, and you got a high limit switch on here to prevent it from overheating.
Yes.
Turning into steam, or, it's a safety feature.
Exactly.
Okay, and those can, not operate at times, so you got a switch there to tell you that it doesn't.
Exactly.
Very good.
Exactly. And then your fuel light is for if your fuel solenoid fails, if for some reason you lose power to your fuel solenoid, what you will see is not only will your fuel light go out, but your flow light will go out too. When you see them both out, then you look at that pressure switch as being your problem.
Okay.
if
So you don't have any flow or fuel.
Exactly.
Your pressure switch it out. Well, that's pretty
Right.
cool. And so basically what this is telling you, that if this light's out, you're not getting any fuel in your chamber to heat the water.
exactly.
Okay.
And this, I know you've been in this before, and many of your men have run into the same thing. When you have a failure, you can stand there and scratch your head for 15 or 20 minutes trying to figure out what's wrong with it, and then end up having to call a mechanic to give you advice and stuff like that. Whereas with this lighting system, it tells you where to go.
Right.
You don't have to, it's no longer a guessing game.
Yep. We can save you a lot of time out in the field, or just figuring out what's wrong with your machine so you can fix it and get right back up and going. Very good. Anything else you'd like to tell me about on this machine, Larry?
It comes with a 50-foot hose.
There we go.
This is 50-foot, 4,000 PSI, one-wire braid hose. And it comes also with a trigger gun, quick disconnects for the hose and the wand. It also comes with a 40-inch spray wand. And this is standard equipment. Other things can be added to it if you prefer. There's many little subtle things about this machine that make it one of the finest machines on the market.
And there you have our features and benefits on the RK-43C. Visit us on the web at www.powerwash.com or give us a call at 1-800-433-2113. Thank you and have a great day.